Hello, Isaiah.
Hey everybody.
We're now live. Stop for the power play music.
Correct. We were playing music. Hey, Joe.
Hello, Joe McClory. Welcome. Hello, lads, lasses, and NB badasses. It's time for another week. But remember, the work week is a fiction. Work.
Time is an
The
illusion. Work time doubly so.
Yes, we can get rid of it if we really want to. This is just as alchemy. And yeah, right now the Alchemy bench is just the same like usual regular e-breakers of me, Summer, and Geek, and like I said, Taylor and John Brentman currently being the cat.
Hello.
And I'm currently posting and sharing it to all the places, and I have done so on all my social media. So how is everyone this week currently?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Nothing going on with me.
That sounds sarcastic.
Only a little bit.
You want to share with the class?
I was in the hospital for a couple of days because I was vomiting
yeah.
blood.
You
That's
okay?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah. They after they rehydrated me and balanced out my salts and whatnot, they gave me some prescriptions for amoxicillin and some things, nutrient stuff, to make sure that I keep my riboflavin up and things like that. And I mean, it's still a little uncomfortable, but I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and Isaiah, Kira has a question for you because like on like the Steve Shots member and Patreon hangout that happened just a while ago, you showed off some of the gifts that you got for Christmas as well too, including a D Space Nine Star Trek commander outfit as well too.
I but actually I just put it in the washer.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I wash my cosplays before once I get them.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's so if you wanted to see it, it's in the washer right now on Delicate getting
Wow,
washed.
I mean, people washing their cosplays. What a weird idea.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you've ever been to a convention, you would think that no, they don't, or themselves.
Is okay, Kira. Okay, well, yeah. Now,
Understandable
if we still
not
wish
great.
you weren't like day drinking though. But anyway, but no, like Kirok's question for you, Isaiah, is that like, is your Deep Space Nine's costume, is that for Commander Cisco or Captain Cisco?
I think
Or is it for
it's
Siskel or Ebert?
I think it's just Captain. Although I just bought it because I really kind of like. Sorry, I kind of I really kind of like the like the in between cut uniforms between
Hmm.
the end of TNG and the beginning of like Generation. So I kind of just bought one because of that. I have a yellow one already, so.
Yeah. Uh, yes, like John Brockman is like he's a kind of an asshole that like doesn't like it what you call him only kind of an asshole because he wants
I
to be a
try, damn
full
it.
ass. Hmm. So yeah, so it's just like I'm a huge Deep Space Nine fan as well too. But even as much as a huge Star Trek, well, I'm not that huge of a Star Trek fan. Huge enough of a Deep Space Nine fan, I will say that. But it's just like of Star Trek, I haven't seen any of the recent Star Trek or rewatched Star Trek
I'm a
recently
fan of
as
the
well too.
idea of Star Trek.
Yeah. And even though I'm a big fan of like Star Wars and stuff like that, I still have not like seen any of the last like Star Wars thing I watched was like Rise of Skywalker, which I agree with like Steve Shives in that like I don't hate Rise of Skywalker as much as everyone else, but I still have issues with like the movie because of how it retconned all the best
Hmm.
parts of from the Last Jedi.
Hmm.
And the question to like I'll share this as well too. Yeah, hi Phoenix.
Hey,
Hopefully the
Phoenix.
hives have hopefully the hives have taken care of. And if Archie's going to attack the bees that don't exist, that gave you the hives or something like that, well, that's like, well, at least Archie is busy, and hopefully he stays inside the apartment as well too. Just an inside joke between me and Phoenix, I swear too. But like, Isaiah, no, Kirok asked this question of like me, but he just asked this of Steve Shives as well too. Which movie Steve Shives prefers or like enjoys more? Does he enjoy Empire Strikes Back more or Wrath of Khan? Because Kirok seems to be in like a bit of minority of the people who asked that he loves Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan more than Empire.
I think it depends on like the different like different circumstances. I think Wrath of Khan is a very is the best Star Trek movie, whereas people tend to think Empire is the best Star Wars movie for different reasons that pertain to both the universes. They're both like when it comes to science fiction films, they're both fantastic, just science fiction on in general, but everyone likes them for I guess what they contribute to their individual respective
Hmm.
universes. That tends to make
I mean,
sense.
Empire had a really great twist that nobody saw
Hmm.
coming, and I
Yeah,
think Benedict Cumberbatch did a really great job as Khan.
that was in Star Trek Into Darkness, not Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan. You're being kind of an asshole. Um, Yeah, so like that, yeah, no, Star Trek II Wrath of Khan is probably the best like Star Trek movie as well too. But yet, like, I definitely agree with like Steve that there's like just that sense of grandness with like Empire Strikes Back, and C-Mac in that hangout also bring out a good point that like if you're if you're not a Star Trek fan, it's going to be really hard for a non-Star Trek fan to enjoy Star Trek to Wrath of Khan. But as for if you're not a Star Wars fan, it seems easier for a non-Star Wars fan to enjoy a movie like Empire Strikes Back because that was a solid movie.
Well, I'll tell you this, I don't consider Star Trek 2 my favorite.
Mm,
I do love it a lot. In fact, it's my second favorite, but I've always been very partial to Star Trek 4.
yeah, I love the Star Trek 4
Bring
as well
back the
I
too.
whales.
Yeah,
Yes, bring back the
yes.
whiz.
I like the comedy they did with it. I like how it's kind of like National Lampoon but in space and some elements to the story.
Yeah. Uh,
You
I,
know,
it was
Spacemen
it's
wandering around San Francisco in the 80s.
right. Yeah. Like you do kind of get the like kind of get this idea that it's like the chemistry between Kirk and Jillian reminds me a lot of like an Anthony Michael Hall kind of movie.
Mhm.
Like,
Kind of a
you
rapey
know,
vibe.
yeah. Well, not I mean, yeah, in movies when he was in, yes, but not pretty much Star Trek 4, but
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall in all of his John Landis movies. Like John Landis had kind of a problem with rape.
Yeah.
I once went through
Yeah.
his catalog trying to find a scene where a man wasn't really superbly problematic with a woman. The only one I
Mm.
found, no, not John Landis, John Hughes. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, John Hughes movies. The only one I found where there wasn't a sexual assault scene was Home Alone.
Yeah. Because like Macaulay Culkin, it was like 10 or 9 in that movie, and
Yeah.
thank God, no, 8 actually. He was really young in that movie.
Hmm.
But it's just like yeah, John Hughes and stuff like that. So going through, but Joe Bakar, I did see Commander Ebert doesn't think whole suites can be used to make art because they are interactive. I see what you did there, Joe McClory. Is and yes, Kirak
I
is
guess he's never been to live theater.
I guess so. Yeah, Kirok's rewatching Picard, and like Kirok finally says, like Picard's the worst Star Trek series ever. It's worse than Voyager, as we're too. Uh,
Well, like I said in the hangout, I just couldn't get into it. It just looked like 90210 where are they now kind of thing.
yeah.
I kind of was just like I don't like we
Well, I mean, who
what
gives a shit about Shannon Doherty, right?
Mhm.
That's the only name I know from that, and only because apparently she was awful.
Yeah. Well, it's also, yeah, and also it's just like again, like I pointed out, actually Nick Anderson pointed out to me, it's just like, hey, wait a minute, this was a joke that Simpsons did back when before we know that Star Trek 6 was going to be the final Star Trek movie at the time. They were just making a lot of Star Trek movies, so then the joke they did in Simpsons, Star Trek 12, so very, very tired. Again with the Klingons, and it's just like that's what they're doing with the new Next Generation cast with Picard. Why are they on the ship again? Why are they like doing like space adventures again? I think I agree with you, Joe McClure. I honestly think like six of Star Trek six. That's my personal favorite like Star Trek movie of all time. Two is up there.
Had a
Uh,
political allegory that I liked.
yes, yeah, it's the politics about that movie that I really liked a lot. And of course, Christopher Plummer as like General Jang as well too. Rise and let loose the dogs of war. And then McCoy just simply said, "I will pay him real money just to shut up."
I do like how they made like in that movie they made the Klingons all British.
Yes,
Mm.
exactly.
You
Christopher
like
Plummer,
that?
David Warner, David fucking Warner is in it as well too, and that was the second Star Trek movie he did in a row as well too.
Mm.
They're all
Uh,
like, well, which kind of and it kind of does make a little sense because the Klingons do kind of have like houses, so they do
yeah,
have. So I guess to have them
And
all
they're
sound
violent imperialists.
yes,
have them
yeah.
all sound aristocratic makes a little sense.
Get Game of Thrones Klingon edition. Now that's it. Now, I want to see that red wedding. Oh, Christopher
A lot of red
Plummer,
shirts
Canadian.
there.
Is okay. Christopher Plummer, Canadian. They still worship the British crown and something like that. Close enough in North America, Phoenix. I guess you are technically correct, which is the best kind of
Well,
correct.
that's why they call them OMB when they have like the OMB such and such. Isn't that what that is?
Old maple
Yeah.
bastard.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I never forgot that David Warner was in Star Trek Five. I remember David Warner being in like Turtles Two: Secrets of the Use, and I mean, I get it. I
Alongside
have
such luminaries as Vanilla Ice.
yes, I remember Vanilla Ice in there. He does do a damn good British accent as well too, so that's why it kind of like makes me look like that. Yes, we of course, but like remember, Mithril, we can't enjoy Shakespeare until we listen in Shakespeare in the original Klingon language. Yes, William Shatner's also Canadian. I think Leonard Nimoy's also Canadian. I'm trying to remember
Oh,
who else.
he's actually from
Zachary
Boston.
Quinto.
No, Zachary Quinto is he Canadian?
I have no
Where is
idea.
he?
I'm just saying names.
He may be, isn't he British, I think?
Zachary Quinto?
Because I know Leonard Nimoy is from America. He's from
No,
Boston.
Zachary Quinto grew up without a father, so I'm pretty sure that makes him a black American. Because
What?
we kidnap black people off the streets. He's an American actor.
Yeah, American. Okay. So I'm trying to remember who else is Canadian. DeForest Kelly? I don't know. I'm just randomly thinking. I don't have the well.
I think James Doohan was Canadian, I believe.
No, James Doohan's Scottish. Well, he's played Scotty.
Well, he's from
Oh,
Canada.
No, he's definitely not Scottish.
mm-hmm. Uh, who is Vanilla Ice? Like a recording artist from before, and honestly, and my friend Linda Quinn also says this. I've already said this before on the show that like Linda Quinn will stand by like Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice is a great artist, a great recording artist, and like puts on a great show. But listen,
He's a really great dancer. That's why they hired him.
Yeah,
well,
right?
the only problem that like most of us have with like Vanilla Ice, he just like would never admit that he like sampled like Under Pressure by Queen. So like it's just so obvious. He like oh, James Doohan was the other Canadian. Okay, I'm so wrong. Maybe he's probably still is Scottish, but like of heritage and not of nationality. Yep, you're right, Canadian actor. Um, to answer the question, or yes, it was a horrible thing that the U.S. let happen, but we like never like coming back. So like, don't worry. Oh yeah, but no, ICE is never coming back. Yes, exactly. It's what he renamed
No, he
himself
made a
twice.
comeback already.
That's true.
Did he date Madonna one time?
No, I don't remember. Honestly. Mm.
Could have.
Yeah, let's see. But yeah, no. Let's see. If I have to rank the Star Trek movies, my favorites would be six. 2, 4, and then like Beyond and First Contact is somewhat that. It's somewhat in that order. But like I probably would need to rewatch them. I'd need to give like Free like another chance as well too, because like it would be that was the one I shitted on the most as well too. But yet it's not that bad, just not as good as 2. And nah, I don't know, but yeah, yeah, I think honestly, like Kirok, I think you would find most people that like will say if you ask that question to others, what you would prefer, what you like better, Empire or Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. I think more people will say Empire just because Star Wars is just more popular. That's just
Hmm.
a fact. But also B, and like I said, it's just like it's much Star Trek Empire Strikes Back is just much more grander as well too.
Hmm.
So it's just like a lot more emotions because like it's Star Wars has always been a space opera. It's more operatic in that way. Well, Star Trek is good for what it is when it is good. But it's just like there as well
It's
too.
slower paced. It's meant to be.
Hmm.
It was always low budget. It was a submarine show. They did what
Yeah,
they could with
exactly.
what they had, and Star Wars
Hmm.
was always big.
Hmm.
You also have to think a lot in Star Trek. Star Trek is a
Yeah,
very show. Where
yeah, I
Star
agree.
Wars just pew pew. I mean, there's elements in Star Wars that people pay attention to, but
Hmm.
for the most part, it's like pew pew, ships
Hmm.
go pew pew, and obviously this is America, so people are gonna eat that up. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I would rank my Star Trek movies. I will say I'm gonna say Star Trek 4 is probably the top at the top,
Hmm.
followed by Star Trek 2. Star Trek 3 comes in. It has Star Trek 3 has some very good visuals. I mean, who can forget the Enterprise backing out of the starbase?
Hmm.
Um, I like Star Trek 1. I like the
Hmm.
fact that they linked the Voyager probes with
Hmm.
that. Um, Not to mention it's a very artistically amazing movie, especially when you're stoned. It's a
Hmm.
movie to watch. It's a very like it's probably been described as one of the more like Star Trek themed movies because they're actually going out to find new life and a new civilization.
Hmm.
Star Trek 6 comes in after that because of the political allegory.
Hmm.
Star Trek Generations comes after that because I like Generations for its from an artistic standpoint.
Hmm.
I know the story is the weakest.
Hmm.
I do like Generation. Nemesis. I know people hate
Mm.
Nemesis, but
No,
Nemesis
no, yeah.
Nemesis has a storyline that I think is better than Star Trek 5 storyline. Because
Hmm.
Star Trek 5 and Star Trek, what was it, 9? Nemesis is 9, right?
No, Nemesis is 10. Star Trek 9 was Insurrection.
All right. Well, yeah, Insurrection is pretty good. I think
I
I
like
think
Generations.
I think First Contact is probably my favorite TNG film.
Yeah, that's everyone's favorite TNG film because I honestly think it's the best of the TNG like movies.
Yeah. But I don't hate Nemesis. I don't hate
Mhm.
Nemesis more than I don't like Star Trek 5. Although Star Trek 5 is pretty good in some areas.
In its own way, yes.
Yeah. It's Star Trek 5 it strikes me more as Damnation Alley. Uh,
Hmm.
it's kind of a pulpy, kind of a fun.
Mm.
Is that a Hogwarts
Yeah.
reference?
What?
Damnation Alley.
It's a movie from the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So, I
Hmm.
I I don't hate any of the Star Trek movies. I think they're pretty good I think they're good in their own way, but there are definitely some very weak ones.
I think I need to just rewatch like the Star Trek movies myself as well too. And well, it's just like rewatch Star Trek in general as well too, because there's a lot that I still need to watch actually most of the TOS series and the animated series, and then like rewatch like Next Generations and like Deep Space Nine as well too. But like, who has the time for any of that? There's like too much like things to do, and like, well, plus I've worked 60 hours a week. So unless I like watch Star Trek at work as well, which I could probably get away with that, but like until like I rather do, yeah, I know there are other things I
Oh,
like
that's an
doing.
interesting idea. Turn
That's
Star
kind
Trek into audio play podcast.
Mhm. Well, I was about to say that. Speaking of like Star Trek: Motion Picture, I think that I can watch that movie again. But that would be the Star Trek: Motion Picture would definitely for sure be like a movie where it's just like I'm playing the game while watching it. For all of the boring parts, I can just like interact with the game, and then just have Star Trek on the first monitor or second monitor or something like that. And once like something's actually interesting happening in the movie, I can pause the game, put it down, and just like watch those bits of the movie.
Well, the thing about me and Star Trek is probably one of the only things that I just watch just like it's just part of my schedule. So I don't really need to like really fight for time to add it to my day because it's just already there like on like it's just there on auto. So that's how I watch it. It's just, when I come home from work, especially if it's like a weekend, I just got paid, like maybe I'll put in like, Wrath of Khan and eat some Chinese food or something. So that's kind of what I do.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, true. I can watch Star Trek on my phone, but I don't know if I actually subscribe to the streaming services that actually has like a Star Trek or classic Star Trek available. Right now, it's just Amazon Prime and Crunchyroll, but Crunchyroll does it specifically anime.
I got the whole Star Trek V like the first like movies, so all the way, I mean all of them are on VHS.
Mhm.
Like obviously until you get to like 2009, even
Yeah.
then it's on VHS. So I have all the movies on VHS, and I actually have I actually got this a couple years ago. These are all the movies.
So Star Trek
uh,
something, is that all of them?
these are all the TOS movies.
Ah, I see.
So 1 through 6.
Mhm.
And then I have Generations on Blu-ray.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the lighting is not really good in my room, so
Yeah. So
Is
most of the light's coming from your monitor. Yeah, we get it.
it's the it's the millennials computer room light setup.
yeah.
I can't afford
Uh,
a ring light.
yeah. Honestly, I get more Babylon vibes from like Mass Effect and like Star Trek. I can see that. Yeah, yeah. I should watch like Babylon 5. Honestly, no. Yeah, so like before I watch like rewatch like all of Star Trek, if I ever get around to that, watching Babylon 5 first because I'd never like seen all of Babylon 5.
See, what
Um.
about the Seth MacFarlane Shorn, the Orlop, the
Oh, the Orville.
Orville?
I could watch that. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, but before I watch Orville, I want to like see if I can try and track down and watch like. And I know there's not going to be that many episodes because the show got canceled quite early on. Space Beyond. That's the word too. What was that?
No,
Uh,
Star Trek Beyond was a movie.
the
You
it
mean
was like
space?
a short
You mean that?
Space Above and Beyond?
above Beyond. Yes, that is a very short-lived TV show. Only like one season, if that, and like probably less than 13 episodes. Uh, I think is, I guess. Oh wait, no, but you know what? Another show that's like classic, like I probably should have watched, even like the old one and the remake as well too. Battlestar Galactica, because I did watch like one or two episodes of like Battlestar Galactica classic one from the 70s or 80s, and it's like, you know what, actually I can see why people are this it has a huge following, is like hugely popular. I can get it as for too. By your command. um
So I've been so currently right now I'm actually working on my Titanic that I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell this one.
Hmm.
So I've been
Haven't got the superstructure on there yet. Can't sell it yet.
I can't sell it yet because I have to buy it, and
Hmm.
I have to buy the lights for it. So yeah, can't sell it yet, but gonna probably turn this to a little side gig, I guess. Putting my name out there.
mhm. See, me, I was like wondering, it's just like, man, Google, why you're showing me all these like shows together and stuff like that? I don't see how like Show by Rocks, Yes, the Precure, Smile Precure, Doki Doki Precure, and Cyber Six all like, or Democracy Now! Are related to like Space Above and Beyond. It's like, oh, recently viewed shows, so you can see this. Oh, you're showing me my watch history as well too. Okay, Google, I see what you're doing. And yeah, like, and Phoenix is like fair about like the problems with Seth MacFarlane, his white liberalism, as well as like his like issues with like women and stuff like that. And in Family Guy, the reason why Meg was always like the butt of like a lot of jokes and a lot of terrible misogynist jokes is just like because Family Guy, the writers' room was just full of white guys as well too. And
What's Seth MacFarlane's problem with women? Let me guess.
He's a white guy.
just yeah, he's a
At the
white guy.
very least, you know.
And is not because of like now the drop probably would disagree with this, but it's not because you have a white penis that's a problem, something like that. It's because the society around you kind of benefits you for having a white penis as
Hmm.
well too.
Having a white penis means you're playing life on easy mode.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, they're just like having any woman in there in that writer's room if they're ever going to get that woman in the writer's room. Especially there's a lot of nerdy girls and something like that. They can easily write make a lot better or something like that. Even Lois as well too. Whoever I forgot the like mom's name as well too. And that reminds me, Kira, you also asked me about the Star Wars Family Guy specials. The Family Guy making fun of like Star Wars and those. Yeah, I haven't gone around to it because like. I'm not that interested in like I'd much rather rewatch like Futurama than like watch like a Family Guy. Um,
What's everyone's thoughts on Spaceballs?
love that movie Spaceballs.
Funny.
I love it. It's funny.
I'm not a
And
huge
again,
fan of Mel Brooks' style as an adult, but
mhm, yeah,
I just remember that was where I first saw Bill Pullman, who would later go on Independence Day.
yep,
Tim Russ.
yeah. I am actually am a fan of like Mel Brooks's like stuff. I even like seen some of his earlier films, like not just like the producers, which are like some of it still holds up, some of it's problematic, of course. Mel Brooks had never had like great representation of like queer characters, honestly. Yeah,
he
but
had
like
different priorities. He was anti-racist.
yes,
He was anti-fascist.
yes. Hey, he fought
Um,
in World War II, yes. Is but like 12 Chairs was interesting and it's like I like High Anxiety. I actually like the silent movie as well too, but it's just like yeah, his Mel Brooks' best works is definitely Blazing Saddles. Obviously, that's why it so gets like the accolades. And I should rewatch History of the World Part 1 because also like one of my like acting teachers was in that. Just last one, the Swimming Nuns as well too. But like I personally and I'm also one of those people that also really enjoyed Robin Hood Men in Tights, even though like I guess it's just Steve Shives. Steve Shives just doesn't find it funny whatsoever, and so he just like he never laughs during it as well too. I don't need to laugh and to enjoy a movie, even the comedy. If it's like find it amusing enough, then it's just like okay, yeah, I enjoy it as well too. And I still
Right, because I had a huge crush on Carell, so
yeah. Yeah, no, Robin Hood Men in Tights I still thoroughly enjoyed, even though I'd never seen like Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, but like knowing from like Mythros' reaction to Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, I'm probably better off not watching Robin Hood
it's
Prince
a
of
thoroughly
Thieves.
mediocre movie
Mm,
at best.
yes. I probably more likely played the like Robin Hood Prince of Thieves video game more than I would actually like watch the movie. And not to say that video game that it was a NES game that wasn't that any of that good as well too. Um Yeah, you are. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they are a real girl, even though you're gender fluid. Then there's nothing wrong with that as well, too. Trans masculine, gender fluid, but still weird girl. Yeah, yeah.
are you guys Casey Grammer fans?
I do. I have seen episodes of Frasier go on and off again, and like, so I have seen. He's still great as like Shy Show Bob in the classic Simpsons episode. So, and it's like, what else have I seen him in? No, that's pretty much it. I haven't even seen like the X-Men movies where he played Beast. And sure, I'm sure hearing him
He
cast
did
as
an
Beast
excellent
is like,
job.
you know what? That's good casting. Um, Airplane in many ways is an awful film, but very funny. Oh, I love the Airplane movies. I was on a binge of like watching the movies by those like writers and the directors as well too. Of they trying the their name no David Zucker and Jeff Zucker and then like Jim Abraham as well too. Even the terrible ones they made later on like Mafia or High School High, I still enjoyed those spoofs as well too. Oh, but the best ones are still like Airplane. The second Airplane movie they didn't direct. That was someone else entirely. But still funny in my opinion. And then like of course, even though I do love the Nick and Gunn movies as well too. Nice Beaver. The third one, even though the third one was the weakest of the three. But like I also have seen, I think, yeah, there was only 6 episodes of the Police Squad, the TV show they had on in 1982, which is why they didn't do the second Airplane movie because they were doing a TV show, and which that TV show did fail because like it didn't get an audience. It was like shown at the same time as like a super popular like TV
show. What's the world coming to?
Mitchell, I think you'll find that Alan Rickman did, in fact, run around with witches sexually assaulting women. That is what England was for about 600 years.
Yes, exactly.
And then Alan Rickman died, and now it's just J.K. Rowling doing the same thing. Oh, wait, no
yeah.
witches. No witches would associate with her.
This funny enough, like I did see like Alan Rickman not too long ago because like on Christmas Eve, I had the day off on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and but like so it was like I was home to be able to watch something with my brothers as we eat. We normally on Sundays we watch anime as we eat as well too. That's what my brothers do as well too when I'm not home, but like on most weekday nights. But they watch something else when I'm not there. But on Christmas Eve, just like say since we could continue watching the new Spice Wolf show, or we could like watch something Christmassy. Since Alan has not seen Die Hard, do you want to see Die Hard? Let's show Alan Die Hard. And Alan Rickman was excellent as like Hans Gruber in like Die Hard. I don't care about that debate of whether or not it's a Christmas movie and not as well too. I say it is because it takes place at Christmas, even though like yeah, the movie was released in theaters in June. But like the movie does not have to feel like a Christmas movie for me to call it this Christmas movie. But also don't have any stake in that like debate as we're too.
I don't. Yeah, I don't care if it is or it isn't. I mean. Because like by that definition, any movie that takes place around Christmas is technically a Christmas movie. Like
yes, like Batman Returns.
Yeah, like like Mean Girls. There's a scene where they're dancing. There's that scene where all of them are dancing and
Deadpool. Then Deadpool doesn't entirely take place on Christmas, but then we had one scene that takes place during Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ren's Christmas movie, I guess. If it takes place during Christmas, the other Alan Rickman Christmas movie, what was that? I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, I have never seen that. I think, and from what I've heard, yeah, what I heard is best that I do not see Love Actually. Yes, there are some people that really love Love Actually, and others who actually pay attention to the movie have serious problems with like Love Actually.
I was thinking about
people who like Love Actually also think 50 First Dates is sweet.
Oh, my older sibling actually liked 50 First Date, but that's because it reminded them of their girlfriend at the time, which they had broken up, and it wasn't a good breakup. At least for my older sibling as well too.
See it one day.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's straight, almost all white people being weird and toxic.
Yeah. No, yeah. And remember, it's Adam Sandler.
Especially the guy who eventually became Rick on The Walking Dead. He was especially toxic in Love Actually. You haven't seen
Love Actually, you're talking. Yeah.
So it's basically all white folks just being dicks to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
The thing is, they all have these awful, shitty relationships, and we're supposed to think they're wonderful.
I see. Yeah. I thought
I always found comedy like being autistic. And watching like non-autistic comedy, whatever the fuck that means. I've always just found it as just awkward and just like
oh yes. Yeah, I'm always the person that almost has the desire to run out of the room because, like, my God, these people are idiots, and that's the source of the comedy. These people, idiots, are doing stupid things. Sorry for being ableist, but like that's my reaction every time I watch Friends.
Actually, there's one non-toxic relationship in Love Actually, and that's Martin Freeman.
is. I'll be honest. When you were talking about white people being terrible and doing awful things and toxic relationships, I thought we were still talking about First Dates and not Love
Yeah, I
Actually.
mean that is also that. I mean, it's Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's why I thought it like, oh, we must be still talking about 50 First Dates because yeah, Adam Sandler, which is why I don't have a strong interest to watch 50 First Dates or any other movie with
Not
him.
just white people in general, just being toxic to each other and then toxic to everyone else.
Look at Jackass.
Oh God, the early 2000s was so fucked.
Remember
Yeah,
Spike TV? Remember Spike TV? Remember
Spike
that?
yeah.
TV, The Man Show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah, and all those toxic like white people like together in like a one bad comedy of a movie. That's Grown Ups. It also happens to have Chris Rock too. Still toxic, but like not a white person.
they made
I've been
3 Hangover movies.
I've been I've been watching a lot of like YouTube like video essays about the early 2000s in television, and
Yeah.
I cannot believe how goofy some of this shit was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Three
How
Hangover.
how big can a stripper's ass be to bounce a quarter off? I'm like, what?
That is. I
Joe
get.
Schmo, Joe Schmo 2,
Hmm.
the Will Shatner reality show.
Oh my God, ever that? Yeah, yeah.
Answers, which was I
Mhm.
think Spike, yeah. Uh, damn, 1,000 Ways to Die was another one.
I don't remember that as well too.
Also, we elected
Um.
George W. Bush twice.
Yeah, yeah, we did. So the 2000s sucked for that reason, and then there's like and not just
Oh, and
because
there
of
were a couple of
9/11.
wars. We did a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
wars.
Well, the forever war of like the war on terror as well too, which
Yeah.
reminds me, it's like either I gotta like actually
That's
find this
still
book.
going on, by the way.
Yes.
Now
Oh,
this time it's just it's now like Hamas, like now if you're a Palestinian, like if you're a Palestinian American, you're now a terrorist just because.
yeah, exactly. A
Well,
little bit,
it's
yeah,
always
with
been the
Washington.
case that Muslims were terrorists. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Ever since
Yeah.
9/11. Look at the
no, I
TV
mean
show
going back
24.
before that, you go back to the 80s,
Oh yeah, that's a storm and the earlier as well
70s.
too. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it
yeah,
was a Muslim who hijacked the plane in Airplane, and that's a
yeah,
comedy.
Right.
yeah.
Actually,
Or,
no, I make a mistake. That
uh,
was a desperate white guy who was being screwed over by capitalism.
or the
Yes.
Libyans, the Libyans from Back to the
Back to the
Future.
Future. Yep.
Hmm.
Libyans.
Actually,
Yep.
So
is Libya in North Africa?
yeah.
Yep.
Funny
There's,
how
So,
we
yep.
really gave that to South America, we never really gave that distinction to them being a bunch of bad guys.
I mean, look at the opening scene to like Naked Gun. Look at all those world leaders. They're from like Middle East or Black and Brown countries, and then like the one Russian in like Gorbachev.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of like what they did back then. It was all the bad countries were brown skin or Spanish, and they talk like this, and then of course you got the Russians who, it's the Russians.
Communists. That's why. Yeah,
They're all commies and
they all hate America because America has freedom as a word too. Oh, still love a Naked Gun where it's just like Frank Drebin just like wipes off the birthmark of the Gorbachev's face and goes, "I knew it."
yeah, they hate all the Muslims hate us for our freedom, even though Christians are like have been the ones telling us that of what books to read or
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
you know.
Well, the theologians again, like fundamentalists, like Puritan Christians. Yes, exactly.
Well,
The
it's
ones who want power, the ones who want theocratic fascism.
right. Well, it's always been about it's not about it's always been about who's doing the oppression, and if you're a white Christian who wants to oppress people, you don't want anyone else doing that.
Yeah,
Like fundamentalist
yeah.
Islam and fundamentalist Christianity have a lot of similarities, but
Mhm.
it's just if you're a white person, you
Mhm.
only want to be doing that. You,
Yeah.
you want to be doing the oppression, not anyone else. So,
Yeah, exactly. That's what the all the conservatives like politics is about. It's about like rules for me, not for thee,
right.
or the rules for thee to like how they should live, but like that doesn't apply to me. It's all about me, 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 power to me. But speaking of Muslims, this is like one of the topics I kind of like did actually had like queue up to like share with Will Toast, not directly about like the Muslims and like who they voted for. But like I was in a voice call like the other night, and a friend reminded me of how back in the summer, there I asked Steve Shives, Steve, are you actually going to like to try to encourage like Palestinian Americans to like vote for Joe Biden this before he dropped out, even though the genocide is going on in Gaza? And Steve Shives said yes. So I don't know if he actually does that, but we know Steve Shives, he does like vote shame people into like voting for like the Democrats. But like my friend shared with me that like apparently a couple of articles, and I Google searched some of the articles themselves, that like no, yeah, yeah, it seemed like according to exit polls as well as too, that like more people voted for Trump than voted for Harris. More Muslims voted for Trump than voted for Harris as well too, and by 1%, way, way, way more Muslims voted for Jill Stein as well too,
I
and like
explain to some degree why maybe that happened.
yeah,
Um, I think some people may have seen Trump as maybe they can convince Trump, I guess, to if their view is like he's a deal maker or some shit, which he's not, but if that was the reason,
mm,
maybe they think that they can like negotiate with Trump because he's a deal person
mm-hmm,
as a as opposed to Biden, who's just kind of like your just run of the mill politician who just doesn't know
yeah.
what's going on. And
It was a vibe thing, yeah. Well, the point of me bringing it up, we can then discuss that as well too. But like, my friend was like, wanted to like know what would be Steve Shive's reaction to that fact as well too. And I have not the desire. I haven't had the desire yet to like ask Steve Shives that or like find get his like reaction to that as well too. So that's why I posted to social media. Just like I want to know what liberals' reactions to that fact are that more Muslims voted for Trump than like Harris. It's by 1 percentage point, honestly. Like 21% voted for Harris according to like polling data, and like 22% voted for like Trump according to polling data within the margin of error of like 2.5%. So it's like
Yeah,
it's
it was
very
basically a
close.
dead heat.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the thing with Trump and the thing with Trump and Israel is that I mean, Trump cares more about the real estate aspect
Yeah.
of it all, whereas his base is like the whole we gotta kill all the Muslims because Jesus we gotta bring Jesus back or
Yeah.
some bullshit.
mm,
So I mean that's
Mhm.
the only reason that's like only reason why we really support Israel. I mean there are other
Yeah.
reasons, but it's mostly comes from this whole idea that God promised these people this land or some
Hmm.
bullshit.
Yeah.
That which I might add, was not really in the original Bible, was kind of
Mhm.
added
Mhm.
it's yeah, I mean I don't know. It's religion and
Yeah, exactly.
very
And the Bible still is like the best like choose your own adventure book ever as well too, because like
yeah.
people just like pick and choose what they want from that.
And,
Uh,
our country is still a very religious country still.
yeah.
All the way. So, it's a combination of just dogma, just being taught that, it's kind of the same thing how white folks used to say that they were the chosen people when they first met the natives and
Yeah. White
same,
people did believe that because of white people, of
you know,
course.
it's the same shit. And like, and like for the first time, it's like we don't even have like our rights as citizens
Mhm.
because people think we're supposed to support Israel over America, even though
Mhm.
I'm not Jewish and I like and even the Jews that I know are not even the most religious people out
Mhm.
there. So it's
Yeah.
mm.
just
They tend not to be.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
The fairly religious Jews tend to be also fairly insular, whether
Yeah.
they're Orthodox or Hasidic.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Uh,
yeah, it's kind of like when it's strange, It's like this whole conflict has really got me like thinking about. I have never seen like the dehumanization of a group of people in my life like we've seen with the Palestinians in
yeah.
recent conflict.
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah.
I mean, just be. I mean. And this was an attack that happened in a different country where
Mm.
like and it's like there are people out there like saying like these like right wing like Zionists who are saying, we're attending a like we're gonna go troll a Pally rally, Palestinians Pally, that's like
Mm.
that's the nickname for them. And it's just like if you're a Palestinian, you have to literally like get up every morning thinking that people hate you, people want to kill
Mhm.
you for no reason.
Yeah.
So, people are, yeah, I mean, I sometimes like wonder, like, if you're Palestinian, how do you like get through life, with just that target on your head that because of someone's religion, people think you're not a human being, and it's religion. It always goes back to religion.
I,
Always.
I,
And specifically, America's like Christian interpretation of religion.
yeah, yeah,
We never had a Middle East policy until after the Second World War.
yeah. Well,
And, we never, so
I don't think we bothered with the Middle East at all. That was Britain's thing, honestly. Mithra can attest to that. The British were messing around with the Middle East for the entire time, which is also
Hmm.
why the borders of the countries that we have in the Middle East exist as they are,
Yeah.
because they were always like thought up of with like a British person's like
Goes
head.
back
Oh, well,
centuries.
just
and the
yeah.
and the French,
Oh, yeah, the French. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm sure.
Iraq, Iraq,
Yeah,
I mean, you
right?
yeah,
wonder
yeah,
why
yeah.
Greece and Turkey are fighting today? The fucking Brits.
Or
Yes.
India and Pakistan.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Partition.
Yeah.
Uh, you can even add the Troubles into that. Oh, that's just different in
Well,
some
that's
areas.
also imperialism, but
Yeah, it was imperialism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it is
Uh,
imperialism because the effects of like the troubles are like are still felt in like Ireland today as well too. I'm sure.
and I've been
Uh,
and I'm a huge Titanic nerd, as you know, and the story of home rule, British, like I've the whole home rule thing was a
mhm,
huge thing during that time.
yeah.
And yeah, and so yeah, I've never witnessed the amount of like hatred towards Palestinians as I have, and I tend to
Well,
look at it, like, as a black person,
mhm,
we've dealt with this before, and we still
yeah,
today.
yeah.
Um, this is why like our like African solidarity with Palestine will always be
Hmm.
stronger than its solidarity with Jewish people.
Hmm. Oh yeah, that's Cori Bush of like former congressperson of like Missouri. She was in like the Ferguson like riots after like Michael Brown's like killing. And like some of the like this most active activists that were on the streets so like every night during the Ferguson uprisings were also Palestinian Americans because like well they know they kind of like almost feel like the similar oppressions that like the Black Americans feel in like America than from Palestinian Americans because that they're in an open air concentration camp and right now being genocided. Just like the genocide was always like been happening ever since like 1948 and the Mandate years and the Nakba as well too. Just like it's more ramped up in the last like 15 months as well too. And Metro has a comment as like I wish I could say that like Isaiah referring to how this is the first time you remember seeing a whole group of people being dehumanized, but Mithra remembers the dehumanization of Iraqis, Kurds, and
Yeah.
Rwandans and many others. But Methyl, you're also old as dirt as well too. But what makes it is you kind of I guess unique about like this genocide is happening as opposed to all the other genocides from before. This one is live streamed on TikTok,
It's
so
it also like occurs. Well, yeah, there's that, and there's also the fact that speaking out against it has,
mhm.
you are basically putting your career at risk.
And
I
yeah,
mean, like it's always because it's always strange because America, we like to say we fought, not like we really wear our badge on our outfit by saying we like to fight Nazis, and but it's like,
but they don't ask the question, are we the baddies? Yeah, no, it's like, oh man, I had a thought there, and just now as well too. But it's just like, but like, I guess, yeah. So like, this one is like the first ever this like constantly 24/7 like live stream on social media, which is how we're way more aware of it. And like, but no, yeah, oh yeah, speaking about the authoritarianism in this like country and society as well too. Yeah, speaking out against it, you're risking your position. That was happening when people were like for BDS, the boycott, divest, and sanction Israel as well too. And when like academics were like saying they are pro BDS, pro and something like that come out against it, they were being like censored or even let go or fired or removed of like power within the institutions of the universities for being like basically anti-Semitic because they support BDS. And it's just like, hey, no, I do not hate Jewish people. I'm just against the Israel government because, like, I personally don't think that Israel as a state should exist. It's on stolen land.
I'm gonna be honest. The people who are probably the most anti-Semitic are the ones trying to implicate Jews into the actions of what Israel is doing.
Hmm.
Actually, so if anyone's being anti-Semitic, it's actually the people trying to equate all Jews, the Jewish diaspora, with Israel. That's the anti-Semitism.
Hmm.
It's kind of like how people used to attribute all Muslims with Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's kind of what people are doing with Israel. I mean, with the Jewish diaspora in this country, they're trying to
Hmm.
say, we gotta support the country of Israel, and I guess to them, all of Israel is Jewish people.
Hmm.
Well, it is an essentializing thing, but I don't think it's anti-Semitic so much as it's just Israeli fascism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. And that's the thing. It's like many Jewish people criticize, and even people in Israel have many, many, many criticisms with Benjamin Netanyahu because, like, the whole reason for him enacting this genocide is just to like maintain his position in power. Even before that as well too, even before this, even before October 7th, there was always the people of Israel were kind of like protesting in the streets for what Benjamin Netanyahu was doing because he dissolved the like a judicial like government or judicial branch of like the government because like the Supreme Court of Israel was charging Benjamin Netanyahu for corruption crimes.
and I'm gonna be honest. If that because that's all true, and I wonder. I'm gonna be honest now because we've seen this happen in history before. I'm gonna like throw a line out and say that maybe Netanyahu pulled a Reichstag and he staged this attack to basically keep himself out of jail.
I want to say he staged like October 7th,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
what
think
I'm saying. Yeah.
but I'm from what I have understood, I think he was aware that Hamas was planning on something on October 7th, and he kind of just like maybe it's more negligence or maybe it's more incompetence, but like I think they were aware of something's going to happen and they just let it happen.
That's kind of the same thing here in America with 9/11. There's
Yeah,
the whole thing of, did Bush know about 9/11 before it
right.
happened? And there's all this evidence that said that Al Qaeda was going to use airplanes. I mean, in a
Hmm.
way, we kind of saw it also happen in France in the early 90s. There was this hijacking of this Air France
Hmm.
flight in Africa, and I think the target was the Eiffel Tower or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I kind of think that Netanyahu probably wanted it to happen because, it's a
Well,
land thing.
as Bertel said, he Benjamin Netanyahu moved troops away from the Gaza border till
Hmm.
he knew October 7th was going to happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
by the way, Netanyahu has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. So
I am so
miracles
rooting
do
for
happen on
cancer.
Christmas.
Unfortunately, it's like you can easily live from like and be cured of prostate cancer, or be like give receive chemo and like be cancer free. And it's like I try to remember. It's like, can you live without the prostate?
Yes,
Because
you
I
can, but you can't fuck without a prostate. Well, you can, but it's difficult.
Uh,
I think I know people that like because of prostate cancer and they survive, like they have ghost come, where it's just like it's like they can like orgasm, but like nothing comes out.
yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of, a
It's
lot,
difficult to get erections. There's a lot of
Mhm.
issues that come with if you get your prostate removed.
Yeah. See, Joe McCord said not necessarily that attack, but his incompetence only made it possible by redirecting the defense forces to support the illegal settlers in the West Bank. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that too. That's the whole nother thing too. There's always also what's been happening in the West Bank, and it's been happening in the West Bank for decades as well too. There was a ramp up of like illegal settlers moving into the West Bank, just literally taking like Palestinian like homes as well too, and forcing them out of the Palestinian homes as well too.
Yeah, and see that's why I've always believed that whole Second Amendment shit is just bunk because
Mhm,
it's like here you got these people being basically kicked out of their homes and shit and
mhm,
I haven't heard any of these like 2A assholes talk about any of that, but and see, that's why as a minority, you have to always or someone or some like whenever these white guys say that who are in these militias that talk about tyrannical government, you have to remember that they're not talking about a tyrannical government. They're talking about a tyrannical government that that discriminates against them.
mhm.
That's why in their head they have to overthrow that government
Yeah.
because because none of these people have I haven't heard a peep out of any of these like Second Amendment, I'm gonna defend my house people. I haven't heard a peep out of them with the whole Palestine thing and that's how you know that these people don't like you. They like if you're a Palestinian. I put it this way: if you're anyone who is not white, straight, Christian, they don't like you.
Yep.
They don't.
As far as they're
They're not
concerned, it's brown people killing brown people, and they love it.
right. They're
Mhm,
not.
Even though Israelis are so not brown that they have to have the largest skin bank in the world to deal with all the skin
mhm,
cancer they get.
mhm.
You just gotta be. I just think people who are Palestinian, you gotta be careful and you gotta fight like it's your last day because there's a lot of people who don't want you to exist. So
Mhm.
I like to say that if like if I was Palestinian or something and you want to call me a terrorist, go ahead, go ahead.
And yeah, it's
I'll make it. I'll definitely show you more than I can tell you. So I don't want to say what I want to say because I don't want us to get kicked off of the internet, but.
I don't know if like barely anyone's watching. Thank you to all the 6 people that are watching. Hello, like a homophobic fossil fuel. But like that's the thing. One thing I want to bring up as well too. I still want to like do my research in like the organization of Hamas and learn what they're all about. But it's just like the Israel helped create Hamas as well too because they wanted like a enemy to fight against the Palestinians, or was like to say, no, we're not against the Palestinian people, we're against Hamas, and Hamas is the governing body of the Palestinians, and it's just like homophobic, not homeopathic. Okay. It's homeopathic. Okay, so I said I meant to say homeopathic, but I said homophobic. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry
I
about
barely
that.
even registered that.
I think so. It's homeopathic philosophy. I figure it was that because, like, and sorry for like if I mispronounce it as well too, because I am dyslexic and I have done that frequently. I apologize. I'll call you fossil fuels now to just avoid that confusion from now on. Welcome to the stream as well too, as we talk about random things. I created not really, but put their weight behind to put the for sure yes in charge. And he's like, yeah, because like, that's okay. Come in politics, they can't win. At least with like films and TVs, there's only opinion that's like them for fun. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Kirok. You don't have to like watch the whole show as well too, or participate as well too if you don't want to. That's totally fine. I'm trying to think. Okay, so like the why I brought up the topic of like Muslims as well too, and because like yeah, it did seem like more Muslims voted for Trump than like Kamala Harris. I wonder how Steve Jobs will react to that fact. Not surprisingly, that a lot more people like voted for Joe Stein because like I don't blame Muslims for not wanting to vote for like the administration that is actively causing a genocide happening to like the Palestinians. So I wonder what like how Steve Jobs will react to that fact.
No idea.
Yeah. I know you voted for like Harris. Yeah, you were about if like Joe Biden was a candidate, you would have voted for like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. if you're allowed to. Oh, instead of Joe Biden, which is that's kind of interesting, especially now that like maybe Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to be the head of like Health and Human Services in the Trump administration. Maybe I say maybe because like he still has to be confirmed, as well as like the Trump is still not yet been in power yet because the inauguration is on the 21st of January, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
Sometime in January, but whatever. It's like a month from now. Uh, I guess that's one the thing they bring up. Oh yeah, it's the end of the year coming up. I don't know how if any of you get like self-reflective around the year of like the year has been. Um. Oh, okay, yeah. No. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is just like he's
You
really
know,
out
Robert F.
there.
Kennedy Jr. Kept a journal of all the women he cheated on his wife with. He had codes. It was gross.
Well, this is
And
a
then she
kitty
killed
that
herself.
we're talking about. Well, this
Yeah,
is that we're talking about, so you know.
yeah. In the end, people who are not paying enough attention will blame the person holding the ball when like things go
Hmm.
bad. Worldwide, it's like has been a bad year for incumbents. Yeah, that was the thing too. So it's like every incumbent was like voted out of office because like inflation hit worldwide as well too.
Hmm.
So like this election year, no incumbent like stayed in office. Um,
Place is about to get worse though under Trump, but okay,
Eh,
whatever.
Yeah, the inflation will get worse under like Trump as well too, and like Britain now has the Labour Party, but it's the Labour Party lead by Keir Starmer, and so it's like it's nothing's going to change in Britain, honestly. Um, oh yeah, that's a good point, Mithril. Anyway, what else is there to talk about? Oh, do you guys feel like make a New Year's resolutions or like any like plans for New Year's or like get self-reflected on the last year?
No.
I'm probably I'm probably gonna like just make a resolution to save more money, something like that.
Yeah, it's like I
Just
don't make New Year's resolutions because like I can easily I don't wait for like a year or two like try to change my life or change something about myself. I can like do that at any time, honestly. Like new day, new month as well too. Don't have to wait for like a new calendar.
yeah, I never understood that shit either about people wanting to wait a whole year to kind of like get their shit together cause like that sounds like an excuse to me.
Mhm. Gym memberships like get increased in January, then like get canceled in March, something like that.
Yeah. Cause to me, I'm like, if you're gonna like make a commitment to like fix your life, like you don't need and you think it's important enough to you, like why wait a whole year when you
Yeah,
can just like fix that shit now and be disciplined and make that commitment to fix your life now? Why wait a certain day at the end of the year to make that change? I don't get it. I understand it like because they don't want to give up something that they've liked a lot. They want to like
yeah.
weed stuff off of it. They don't want to quit cold turkey, but I just feel like people make them and then they don't follow through with them and then they just start becoming just like lazy and it's just like I don't know. So maybe I don't have anything against them. Maybe I just think people need to like stick to one, like find one that they really like and stick to it instead of just like and also don't always like say you're going to do something. Like if you see a problem, just do it. You
Mhm.
don't be like complimented on it. You know what I mean? You know, just
You got a problem? Yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook where the
Uh
DJ revolves it. Call back.
Yes, call back to Vanilla Ice. I think why some people get around get somehow like sort of like make New Year's resolutions because they notice other people doing it and it's just like, oh, that's a neat idea, and then they just thought about it and then they decide, okay, I'll just like make a New Year's resolution and for this as well too, and then like yeah, who knows if they're serious about that as well too. Um, but I don't know. I guess like for some people, it's like, well, hey, it's an opportunity to like do that, and I never thought of it before. So it's like, man, now I'm thinking about it, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see how some people like do it like that. Okay, well, Kira, I don't care. I don't care about your opinions on like Jack Pizza. Why do you think I was like we were going to mute you for that as well too? Um, yeah, you're strange. You're just a strange person, Kira. Honestly. Um, let's see. I don't know what
Wow,
else is.
way to be a Billingsgate, way to be racist against both Billingsgate and Fishwives. God.
I don't know what else to talk about. What else has happened in the news this week? Not much because like it was
It's
Christmas.
Christmas, everything's going slow.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know.
Apparently, I vaguely recall something going on with some of Trump's picks being outed as being absolute douchebags. Too bad even for the Republican Party.
mhm. I think like the House Ethics Committee has released a leaked version of the report of like against Matt Gates, and like oh yeah. So it's just like oh yeah, it's a statutory rape and that sort of thing too. All the awful stuff that we assumed that Matt Gates was like guilty of as well too. Like he did actually pay like a 17-year-old girl to have sex with him as well
Mm-hmm.
too. So it's like, yep, a whole bunch of awfulness. Thank God, and yet. Who knows if like Matt Gaetz still has like a position in like politics whatsoever? But at least, thankfully, he's not going to be in Congress for now, and not going to be in the Trump administration for now. Who knows if like Trump actually still likes Matt Gaetz? Which not knowing like Trump, it's possible he still likes Matt Gaetz as well. So, um, hello, Lucidia. You exist and you're cute. See, well, I guess like just looking at the headlines on Democracy Now, there's still like the thing about like what's happening in Syria as well too, because like Assad is like just like fled and like left like is Syria as well too. The Kurds are being like the Kurds are just always been like those kind of people that just like always just like been like mistreated for generations and like generations as well too for as long as they existed as well too, and so it is not easy for the Kurds to be the Kurds in like Syria as well too, because like they're not liked by anyone. It was just like it was bad on Assad, but it's just like the Kurds still need support as well too. So like that's what
Mm-hmm.
uh Kurds under threat in Syria as Turkey launched an attack and kills journalists after Assad's regime falls. No, that's the thing about with Turkey as well too. So there's still that as well. Um,
Hey, Lucia.
Hello, Alice. I used to be like active in the local tourism when they were still like a book and reading like a club, and they formed like a proper party, and I joined that eventually. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I haven't been following the TYT collapse because like I've never been a huge fan of like TYT at all as well too. But
I
like
mean, they
so
are liberal. They've
yeah
only ever barely been progressive about some things.
yeah exactly. Now it seemed
Um,
even.
Back
Mhm,
around like 2015, I
mhm,
think when I first started watching them, but over time I just kind of just
mhm.
stopped. You know,
I see you're in corner with like Super Mario colors. Okay, continue doing that. And I see that you proved that you are Canadian how you spell colors with the U. Um, yeah, so like yeah, I've heard about that TYT collapse. I don't know anything what's happening currently because I said fuck TYT. I never was a big fan of TYT again. And like as I said before several times as well too, like some of my friends and comrades that like watch TYT, they look at Cenk Uygur and sees like, okay, he claims to be a progressive or claims to be a socialist and like talks a big game about those sort of things. But if he becomes a billionaire, he easily should like easily will just like fit into the billionaire role if he's gotten $1 billion or TYT takes off to be a $1 billion
Mm-hmm.
company as well. So he can easily fill in that role. And everything else that like remember, Dave Rubin started on TYT, so that tells you something. Now yeah, he left like TYT because he wanted $1 million for like doing an hour like a long show a week as well too. $1 million years to do that, but like he didn't get that, so then like he got like oil billionaires to pay him to do that, but for the right as well too. And then he like left the left and it's just like, oh, I'm not a like right winger. So like, yeah, but you have so many right wingers and fascists on your show. And you just like nod and nod and agree. Even to like some into like one person who said like gay people should not exist, or I don't want gay people to like be teaching things too. To which like that person was like told, "Why are you on that show with that gay man, Dave Rubin?" He's like, "Dave Rubin is gay." No. Jimmy Dore. Yeah, Jimmy Dore. Yeah, that's that. I never liked Jimmy Dore as well too either. And it's like, is even when he was like sort of a leftist for a period of time, it's just like I never watched any of Jimmy Dore stuff and stuff like that. So like to see him just like have on Blue Boys on and not to like basically do a Dave Rubin and stuff like that and not be critical of what they were
Mhm.
saying, it's just like, yeah, fuck Jimmy Dore,
He's your
honestly.
basic centrist liberal, is the
Yeah,
impression I get of
exactly.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
he's
like TYT.
he's
Yep.
he's a BD a BBD, a basic bitch Democrat.
Yeah,
I
I
learned
agree there.
I learned that from Aaron. What's you know
Oh, the hashtag not a hippies. Yeah, our
yeah.
friend Eric.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so it's like apparently TYT is collapsing as well too. It's like it shouldn't be surprised. Like most of the, if they did have not left TYT, most of their viewers now have like left TYT as well. Um, that's yeah. Kirok asked the question to Isaiah. Isaiah, are you anti-liberal?
What does that mean?
I am in some ways anti-liberal because I'm against liberalism, the political philosophy of liberalism, which,
Mhm.
like, yeah, does not have any like.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
I'm not anti-liberal. I just think liberals. I just think the problem with liberals is that they don't really mean what they say,
Mhm.
and um I think it's always skin deep. It's
Mhm.
always
Yep.
I mean, it's like they'll talk about something, but they don't want to like get down and dirty to actually fight about it. They
Yep.
just want to just
In this case, you're talking about the Dems rather than liberalism.
Democrats.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean I don't know much about liberalism beyond that, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, the
I don't.
thing is, the Democrats represent, in a lot of ways, the origins of liberalism because it goes all
Mhm.
the way back. Like Dumpster Flower did a really good job taking it apart with their
Mhm.
series on YouTube, The Dark Side of Liberalism.
Yeah.
Basically, princes wage wars, peasants fight them. So they needed
Yeah.
propaganda to get the peasants to fight the war for them. So they always make those lies
Yes.
about how we're going to help you, we're going to make your life better, and then they never follow through.
Yeah, it's something like that. Just very milk toast. You know, just not
We're
not
pro
serious.
queer people, we're pro black people, we're pro women, and then they turn around and do everything they can for the wealthy.
Right.
Mhm.
Or you know what John said, they don't even do things even for their own constituents sometimes. Or they'll like put one constituency over the others. I give you an
Hmm.
example. We still don't have a federal lynching bill on the books, I don't think.
Yeah.
But the moment
Anti-lynching, you mean? But we've got plenty of
anti-lynching.
lynching bills.
But the moment like Israel got attacked, all the Democrats were like, let's care to all these white Jewish people, but black folks have never got an anti-lynching bill yet, and this is like,
I'm surprised they haven't put a hate crime enhancement
yeah,
on Luigi Mangione yet.
you know,
They've given him the extreme or the terrorist charge, but
This does also remind me of like a Innuendo Studios like Albright playbook
mhm.
uh a video of the price of doing business as well too.
Yep.
Oh, because like is with that one, it's the he lampooned he's basically attacking like liberals and like lampooning they've lampooned the Democrats as well too for being white moderates. They will work with they much white moderates of the Democrats much more rather to work with the white supremacists of the Republican Party as well as like the avert like white nationalists that the Republican Party's base then makes up with. As opposed to like someone who's actually is anti-racist as well too, because like the Democrats under Joe Biden increase the funding for the police
Mhm.
agencies. We spend way more on policing than like Donald Trump before, but
either
they made Juneteenth a holiday.
either that, or they want their leaders to be neutered and very like just very quiet,
It's
right?
neoliberalism. You're supposed to be subservient to capital.
It's like
Um,
Yes.
it's like the
the big difference between the Democrats and the Republicans is the Democrats would never say there were very good people on both sides.
It's like
Yes.
it's like the difference between like between Riot Girl feminism and like the Alanis Morissette kind of view of feminism. One is more in your face, the other one is more can be
Acceptable.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
White liberal feminism is just like,
Although
yeah,
Alanis Morissette was closer to Riot Girl than she was to Spice Girl.
yeah, I agree. Uh, that's why like Asha Sakura has like said, I don't know what a liberal is because I don't know what a liberal stands for because I
Hmm.
don't know like where they stand for on this issue or that issue as well too. It's just very generic as well too. I forgot the
Obviously, he
exact
learned a
word.
lot from his auntie.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and liberalism is not a cohesive like political ideology as well too. Is you can
If you're
they're
talking about
based
the Democrats, yes. If you're
yeah.
talking about the actual philosophy, it's very coherent.
Oh yeah, exactly as well too. Because like the actual philosophy is more as like capitalism is the given, and just like the state should like ensure that like capitalism is stay around, which it has as well too. And like state has like adopted like certain other roles to protect capitalism. Before it was with FDR making the New Deals to prevent like the rise of communism as well too, because that was very possible to happen in USA. And then like in under neoliberalism, they just like. Uh, they ramped up the like they just like they deprivatized like a most no yeah depublicized most everything else and privatized a lot of things too and like the state is still around and somewhat that but it's there to protect capitalism like in the bailouts of 2008. Oh, let's see. You're gonna catch up with the chat because like there's been like a lot of conversation and going on as well too.
They're talking
Europe,
about
if you
Mario.
oh, okay.
uh, and Alice isn't sure what kind of communist she voted for.
That's fair.
Maoists or Hoxists.
I don't know if there's any malice I could vote for in this election, honestly. I voted for the PSL candidates, well, too, which I've been told the PSL, that's Party for Social Liberation, I believe it's called. I've been told that, like, that's the authoritarian cult. Yeah. Um,
And you're right, Joe. You can't be anti-capitalist and pro-liberal
yeah,
because
exactly.
liberalism was set up to defend and support capitalism.
Yes. Um, one is called the Communist Worker Party, the other is like the Coal Workers Communist Party.
The People's Front of Judea, the Front for the People of Judea, the Judean People's Front.
uh yeah. Yeah, I am anti-liberal in that regard because like I'm against liberalism because liberalism takes capitalism as a given. It just like assumes capitalism is just like natural and it's just like will always be here and something like that. And it's a good thing. You just gotta try hard as well too. Um I read the
It's
book
eugenics by
Listen.
another name.
Oh yeah, exactly. I read the book Listen Rebel by Thomas Frank, and that was released in 2015 as well too. So keep in mind that was before Trump. But like that one covers of like why the Democrats are the way they are, despite being like kind of like the vaguely progressive party as well too. But yet like do so much like a horrible thing still. And in some regards, if you just like look at it and ignore like the names or like the like party affiliation and something like that with what the Democrats have done, they look like right wing as well too. They agree with like the Republicans on foreign policy and economics as well too. And things have gotten like worse in like blue states as well too. But because like the Democrats, especially not just like ever since like Bill Clinton, but that solidified that. But even with like Jimmy Carter, they have like just accepted inequality. They just accepted no inequality is just a fact of life. You can't do anything about that, and they won't do anything about inequality. They won't do like any like welfare or social services programs well too. Or you have to
Just put
like
out a report how much homelessness has increased
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
recently.
Yeah, they ideologically the Democrats like sees like poverty as like a personal failing. That's word too. It's just they're just capitalists. They're just
Yep.
like unabashedly capitalists, and they
Yep.
think is like if you are poor, that's like something wrong with you. And so that's why they'll never do anything to
If you kill
like
one person, you're a terrorist. If you kill millions through policy, you're either a very, very good CEO or a congressman with a keen sense of fiscal responsibility.
yes, exactly.
Is that what Stalin said?
No, it's something I saw on Reddit just today.
Mm,
Well, I saw
No,
it.
what Stalin said was kill one person is a tragedy, kill a million, it's a statistic.
Well,
uh
it's kind of the same thing. It's just different wording.
Well, no, I
yeah,
mean,
but
it's quite different, actually, because million is a statistic is just his way of saying people don't care about large numbers of deaths. They care about
yes.
the missing white girl.
Yeah.
But what the other one was saying was that if you go against the rich, you're a terrorist. But if you're a wealthy
Mhm,
person who kills millions of poor people through policy decisions, then you're a
mhm.
good person, according to this system. It's a very condemnatory statement.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh well.
Okay, we're gonna hate you then. Oh, okay. Then who
No,
cares
no,
about
I
that?
was doing
No, that's
Well, no,
fine.
no. I was responding to Kirok, who said like, now you're gonna hate. Kirok said, now you're gonna hate me. I never liked Zelda. It's like, okay, Kirok, no, no, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. It's a personal taste, huh? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, the first Zelda game, that's it. Hey, Joy Fire.
Hey, Joey
Um,
Fart. Yeah, it's more like we pity you, and so that you never enjoyed a Zelda game, but that's fine.
the first Zelda game, the only part I don't like about that is the Lost Force, because there's, and I mean, it was meant to recreate the idea of playing in the woods as a kid, but I think it's a game that's meant for older kids rather than for the younger kids who would be running around in the woods like that.
Mm,
The second Zelda game was just stupid and different. After that, I think they became a little bit formulaic.
yeah, they
They've
did.
explored, they've done a lot with story. They've done a lot with gameplay recently.
Hmm.
Now
I
that they
never
have
really,
access to better power.
I
So
never really liked Zelda a lot.
That's fine. That's some
they're
people
very
just.
open world games. They're very
Mhm,
about exploration and trying to solve these things and gathering information.
mhm,
They're not something a kid could play. They're more for
mhm.
older teens, I think. Always have been.
Yeah, they always been in that kind of category as well too. Mario's been more like kid friendly though, challenging at times, but like
Oh
more
yeah,
kid friendly because it's like
Mario's
very
always been
simple
very
mechanics.
straightforward. You got to run to these
Mhm.
places and collect these things.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it always presents a very clear path rather than the open world concept.
Yeah,
Were you guys ever Pokemon Go people?
I
I
did
never
play a
got into
bit.
Pokemon. If Pokemon had been around when I was a little kid, my autistic ass would have eaten that up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of people that love Pokemon are like on the spectrum for sure, and like I'm not ashamed of it as well too, because like shiny hunting as well too. Like, oh no, they know like the statistics of like how often a shiny Pokemon is supposed to appear, and so they will just like walk back and forth on like these two like panels in like the game and something like that to try to catch a shiny of whatever it is as well too.
The guy who
So
did Pokemon, wasn't he autistic anyway? I
good,
believe.
but
Yeah, could be.
I think so. I think I have heard something like that as well too. I want Pokemon Go, but it's the Western Civil War and it said you collect like famous historical figures.
Hey, Kirak, it's not the same experience. It's not quite the same. But then you don't have to put the TV on channel 3 either, even if you were to buy a new system. But you can get emulators for these things and steal that shit.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
steal that shit.
Have you ever considered piracy? Um. Yeah. Zelda 2 I actually like a lot. It was the actually
It's such
only
a
true.
different game. You can't view it as
Yes. Agreed.
it's got the same story, but it's such wildly different experience
It's
from
RPG.
all the
It's an
others.
actual RPG.
Hmm.
Hey, that's it's a personal pet peeve of mine, but I hate how like all the other Zelda games that get classified as a RPG is or two, where it's like to me a RPG is like Dragon's Quest or Final Fantasy. I kill a blue slime, I kill a blue slime enough, I level up, and I gain
Hmm.
from the XP points, and like I'll get like
Well,
stat increases.
CRPG. It's a little bit different from a tabletop RPG, um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because that's interactive.
Well, the creator of Dragon Quest wanted to take all the mechanics from like tabletop RPGs, but simplify it so that a child can play it, and that's the point
Hmm.
behind Dragon Quest.
Yep. But
Um,
I mean, also the fact that with a video game, it's really hard to put in all those branching paths, especially when you're
Yes, it
limited
is.
to 28 bytes or whatever.
Oh yeah, on the NES console and Famicom,
32,
absolutely.
64 kilobytes. There we go.
Yeah, yeah. Even though the Wizardry games were out, but those were on PC though, so it's
Mhm.
like they're not very like intuitive. It's PC games back then was like not that intuitive, and like sometimes you have to like figure out if your PC can run it or something like that. And it was a gamble if your PC can run it. It's
Yep.
kind of still today, but
Yep.
like at least, I mean, I expressed my frustration of like I thought my PC can like run like Fork Knife and stream at the same time. Nope. Apparently, I have a piece of shit like a PC that was only $500. Okay, so then I they spend in total I'm going to it was like it was about 1400, but like because I'm making monthly payments on it as well too, it's going to total be in like 1900 as well too. But I'm going to pay off soon in like March of 2025.
Yeah, let's see. I'm not sure that things are standardized so much as that computers have just advanced to the point where it's no longer our creativity no longer butts up against the limitations.
Yeah, I agree there. But also, but the good reminder that like because the upcoming administration is coming in and probably is going to like institute a lot of terrible tariffs. So if you're thinking
Yeah,
about like
we're
upgrading
going
your
to start
PC,
losing out on shit from China.
yes, exactly. Ultima, you're right. They don't hold up, but like they feel like an attempt to like recreate D&D. Yeah, I agree. Lord
Mm.
British, he definitely was recreating and trying to recreate D&D. Absolutely in the Ultima
There
series.
were a lot of great MUDs back in the day.
Hmm.
Text-based dungeon crawl things.
Yes.
They were pretty awesome.
Was the original Zork like that as well?
It was a
It wa-
text-based game, but
No, it
these
wasn't.
MUDs they often had used ASCII art to sort of
I
create a
see.
thing for you to move around in, and there were other
I see.
users there, so it was kind of an open
Oh,
world.
okay.
They were the
Okay. Yeah.
precursors to the
Heaven
things
over
like
cheese.
yeah.
Yeah, like Ultimate Online and stuff like that.
You guys ever heard of this show?
Yep, I
Step
was alive in the
by
'90s.
step, day
Day
by
by
day.
day,
day
something,
by-
something, something, something rhymes with day. It was the
Or what?
Bundys, or not the Bundys,
The Brady
the
Bunch.
Brady Bunch for the '90s.
It was the Brady Bunch from the 90s. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the Bunnies are very different, and they were from the 90s too, but they were the like
They were the
edgy family.
deconstruction of the family sitcom. They were a breath of
Yes,
fresh air.
exactly. They
It's
were. Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny that I'm
They
starting to
were the
watch.
Not the Wilsons.
And I like shows like that because
The
I could give a
Bunkers.
fuck.
Mhm.
I
The
give a
Bundys were the
fuck.
Bunkers of the '90s.
No, I'm saying like it's funny that I like shows like that because I could give a fuck less about the family structure.
Yeah, I think because it's like a junk food or junk comfort food kind of like entertainment,
Hmm.
step by step.
Yep.
Yeah,
TGIF was just that sort of
Mhm.
thing.
and obviously when you watch shows like that, like you know that there is no family like that in this world.
Yeah. Because like let's be honest, look, if you any you like actual family to actually like have cameras in those people's lives like a reality TV show, first of all those people would be like, oh, there's a camera on, so I guess I gotta entertain. Or maybe some of the producer behind the camera is like, hey, do something and something like that. And so there's kind of like artificiality in those reality TV shows. But like the Osbournes, for example, they were two older like teenagers in that family just like be on a reality TV show? Fuck no, I don't want to do that. And probably better for them because they
Yeah.
didn't have like the issues that like the Jack and like I forgot her name that did have later on, as Jack dealt with addiction as well too. His father had dealt with addiction as well too. So like genetics as well plays a part of it. But like being on a TV show probably also doesn't help as well too with the kind of like stress as well too. Um but yeah, hey, we managed to like fill an hour of like this show as well too. But like I'm just gonna catch up with the chat. Zork was a text-based adventure was a pretty advanced pacers, as in the player text commands and environment interactions and such, and ran on like the PDP-11, and which was expensive as fuck. You have proven that you are a nerd without telling us you are a nerd, but we love you for that, Alice. Because when we are all a bunch like
Giant computer nerd.
yes. I haven't played the Friday the 13th like game on the NES as well too. And when I have the Castlevania Classic collection as well too. So the first Castlevania games, Castlevania 2 Timeless Quest, I still like that game. Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. I still love Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, but my god, that game. Music! I was having massive frustrations playing that as well too. I never
Now I'm
played
going to put
Monster
a
Party.
different kind of reality TV in here. It's one of the first reality TV shows. It's video by Matt Baum about Um, the Lance family. No, Lance was the name of the kid. The Loud family.
Mm. Oh, okay, yeah.
He was gay, and it was very controversial. It was a PBS documentary about a real family.
Interesting. Ah, man. And so they kind of remind me of like around that time there's like of a new like a reality show. I forgot what it was called as well too, but yet it's kind of like when it was on Fox, it was like marketed as like reality show, but then like it didn't pull an audience, and then it went to like PBS, and then it was more of like documentary show because it was those high school teenagers that were kind of just like kind of more filming themselves as well too. And I was kind of like it interesting and quite like that show because like it's they're basically they're not being like bloggers as well too because like I bet they did have a film crew. Oh, they like filmed some things as well too, but they were just like the film crew was just there again, which is why it was kind of like reclassified or like re as like a documentary series when it was shown to PBS, but I forgot the name of the show as well too. But I remember seeing it like aired on high school. It aired when I was in high school,
What
so
about
around the 2000s.
this that PBS show about the revolution? God damn it, still getting over this cold. About the Revolutionary War. There was that kid show. And you guys remember that? I'm blanking on the
No.
name.
No, it doesn't ring a bell. Fortunately, I'm terrible with memories. Anyway, we're
Liberty's
closing.
Kids.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh,
It's the full series is on YouTube.
okay. No, I've never. No, Liberty Kids.
It sounds like something that would come off the Daily Wire or PragerU,
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
It kind of it's I mean
but
it's
it was on
not.
PBS Kids, so it was probably a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
it had
like it,
Walter Cronkite, Sylvester Stallone, Ben Stiller, Billy Crystal, Annette Bening, Dustin Hoffman, Michael Douglas, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Liam Neeson, Whoopi Goldberg. That was an all-star fucking cast.
yeah,
Wow.
it's
Yeah, it
like
was
it's
kid reporters reporting on the revolution for Ben Franklin's newspaper.
yeah, it's like your typical revolutionary, America is good and rebel fuck the British, I guess, and
I see. I see. So Liberty Kids. So it's like we're seeing kids like to see the events, the world events of like the birth of like U.S. United States and the nation. I can see that. I see.
honest, as a history nerd that's also autistic, the revolution is the most strangest part because
Mhm.
it's like it's like America likes to celebrate its like independence as if it's like as if they like freed themselves from like a horrible tyrant. But then I'm just like thinking, this is just you celebrating you being emancipated from your mom. Just chill.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
chill.
Before I interrupted, Geek was trying to sign us off.
Yeah. As and like Alice being a Marxist, you decided to like learn the entire whole ass history of
No, the
automation
whole
and
ass history. It's the
whole
ass
ass
history of automation.
automation and computing. It was a good day to get a grip. And I do know things Microsoft corrupt trade academics don't teach you. Nice. I am streaming later today. Kiarak, yes, I'm probably going to play Fortnite. Um,
I may go to this gay bar later.
oh, that's cool and
Nice.
awesome. Yes, Harry looks up page. So, Isaiah Taylor, what do you want to promote?
So like I said earlier, I'm building models now to sell.
Hmm.
So I just finished drilling out all the holes on this new Titanic model that I'm making. I think I'm gonna probably sell this bad boy around for like a maybe like close to $400.
Nice.
It depends on like like how much materials and stuff I need to buy to like add to the charge.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I could probably like sell this for like good 350 maybe
Hmm.
with like because I'm building this just like the actual ship from both the movie and real life.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to be really realistic about it. So yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. says, no offense, I won't be buying it, but with the smiley face emote as well too.
Uh,
Uh,
Well, they're not gonna be cheap.
Let's see. I can imagine you can have a whole rant on that. Alice as well too. Yeah, ChatGPT and the whole worshiping of AI, something like that. My problem with AI is like the like energy resources, the drains. But anyway, I am Summer and a Geek. I'm Summer and a Geek on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Tumblr. And yeah, I'll be streaming later today. I'm gonna eat something first, and then like I'll start streaming as well too. John Brockman, you're part of None Podcast, aren't you?
Yes, Dungeons and Debacles. We'll be playing later tonight. Don't know how long I'll be able to last, but I'm going to go to sleep after this and then wake up in time for the game. It's a D&D game. A lot of different from this. Well, not too different because I'm there, but enough different.
Yes,
A lot
and
of fun.
charity links up page. Don't forget to like if you have extra money, help out the comrades in needs. Like Phoenix, who was in the chat, and like Joey, who's in the chat as well too. They all need money for like various different things, and so check out charity links page, make use of that, and try to like if you have extra money, help out where you can. All right, don't forget to practice self care, everyone.
Yep. Bye bye,
Happy
everybody.
New
Bye
Year,
bye.
everybody.
Happy New Year. See you next year.